Hi, I am Kiersten Pointer, and this is my research presentation titled Lessons from Heartbreak. This project explores what people learn about themselves after going through a breakup, those moments of pain that reveal something deeper beneath the surface. We often think of breakups as just endings, but I wanted to look closer and beneath the obvious hurt. And what if they are beginnings? What if they are mirrors showing us who we have become or who we have stopped being along the way? This is what sparked this project. I wanted to explore how breakups, which are often emotionally catatonic, but can also be moments of clarity and self-discovery. To do that, I used a qualitative approach called interpretive phenomenological analysis, or IPA, which focuses on lived experience and how people make sense of what's happening to them. IPA is especially powerful for this kind of topic because it allows us to view participants as active storytellers, not just data points. It's about meaning making, and in this case, it uncovered what breakups reveal about identity. I asked 6 participants between the ages of 20 to 24 who have just recently had a breakup the same open-ended prompt. Tell me what your last breakup taught you about yourself. They were given space to speak freely for at least 2 minutes. These were unstructured audio recorded interviews done through voice memos that were later transcribed into a table for viewing. So, in the findings across all 6 interviews, I saw 3 themes consistently reoccurring emotional shifts. First, people realized they had undervalued themselves in the relationship, often for years. Second, they began identifying toxic dynamics, patterns that they repeated or normalized. Third, they started reclaiming parts of themselves that had gone quiet inside the relationship, like personal expression, freedom, and self-trust. These weren't abstract observations, they were deeply emotional and often accompanied by shame but also relief. And that emotional contrast gives these themes their weight. So, the first theme that we come across is realization of self worth. Participants often describe how the breakup forced them into reevaluating their views and their self value. For the first time, they realized how much of themselves they were giving up to the relationship and how little they were receiving in return. Many spoke about compromising consistencies, such as shrinking their needs, silencing their preferences, or waiting to be chosen. But when the relationship ended, that silence became space, and in that space, they could finally hear their own voice again. One quote that stood out was, "The silence after the breakup taught me more about my self-worth than the relationship ever could." The next theme that we see is awareness of unhealthy patterns. This theme exposed a recognition of deeper behavioral cycles, such as fear, past trauma, or unmet emotional needs that influenced the relationships they chose and tolerated. Participants started connecting the dots, realizing that the breakup wasn't just about the other person, it was about patterns that they had been reenacting. One said, I kept picking people who reminded me of my dad, distant, critical, and then it finally clicked. That kind of awareness doesn't come easily, but once it arrives, it shapes how we define love, boundaries, and safety in a relationship. The last and final theme that we see is reconnection with personal identity. Many of the participants rediscovered passions, styles, and habits that they had abandoned for the relationship. The scene captured that moment when participants stopped shrinking and started living for themselves again. One person started painting after years. Another began dressing how they wanted to, not how they were told to. Someone even said, I wore red lipstick again for the first time since he told me it was too much. These things may seem small and insignificant, but they're symbolic. It's not about makeup or hobbies, it's about permission, about reclaiming agency, and about finally saying, I get to take space. In conclusion, what I found aligns with psychological theories of growth through adversity. There's a reason that post-traumatic growth is studied in psychology. Pain opens doors that comfort often keeps shut. And in these interviews, I saw the process unfold in real time. Ultimately, the findings show that emotional pain can lead to profound transformation. When external validation falls away, people are often faced with their true identity, which can lead to greater emotional independence and strength. These stories don't all end in triumph, but they begin in awareness, and that awareness is where everything changes. In short, heartbreak hurts, but it also heals. Thank you for watching this presentation.